Christian Index CY review covering Las Vegas and beyond. If you have not already, please subscribe to the CY review YouTube channel below. And please like this video so you can keep up to date on everything we're doing here in Las Vegas and beyond. I want to talk today about the Las Vegas Aces, since in the past couple of days we've talked about the Las Vegas Raiders and the UNLV Rebels here in the entertainment capital of the world. It's time to talk about the two-time defending WNBA champions. And I want to take you guys back to a story that involves CYInterview and the Las Vegas Aces in their early days. Before they ever played a game back in 2018, we were at one of the first practices where we did a long CYInterview with A'ja Wilson, of course, who is our, darling here, the star of the Aces. Of course, there's Chelsea Gray and Kelsey Plum and the rest of the cast, and head coach Becky Hammond. But of course, A'ja, of course, is a former WNBA MVP, and Ms. Wilson has become, the face of the Aces here. And we had a long interview with her. Of course, she was the first draft pick in the 2018 WNBA draft, and she has become a big celebrity here in Las Vegas, in the entertainment capital of the world. And so I want to focus on how the Aces are doing this year early on and talk about how they have become one of the great draws on the Las Vegas Strip as well. They play all of their games, of course, at the Michelob Ultra Arena, at the Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino, of course, there. So at the end of the Strip at the south end. So if you ever want to go over and see the Aces, you can. Harder to get a ticket these days, as they made history selling out their season ticket allotment before the season began. But there are individual tickets to be had out there if you want to get them to various WNBA games. And so, how the Aces doing so far here in the 2024 season? Pretty good so far. Record of 5-2. A'ja Wilson, of course, as we mentioned, past C1 guest, recently just had 35 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 steals in the game. And she is the first player in this WNBA season to accomplish that. A'ja, in her college career at the University of South Carolina, and now in her pro career here with the Las Vegas Aces in the WNBA, has continued to set records, has continued to become one of the best players in the faces of the league. And so, going back to, when we were with her in 2018, it was just amazing to see that early era of where things were with the Aces at that point. Most people were paying attention to the Golden Knights at that time. They really weren't paying attention to the Las Vegas Aces yet. They didn't even probably know that there was going to be a WNBA team, but they have absolutely shined in their time here, with back-to-back WNBA championships. This year, they'll be going for a third. I think this will be the toughest of the three. We shall see what happens. Now, I want to emphasize, it's really interesting what has happened to the WNBA this year. And of course, this is a national discussion that's going on right now in sports media. So I'm going to have this discussion now with you guys here on CYInterview. Yes, Caitlin Clark, formerly of Iowa, now with the Indiana Fever. And yes, Angel Reese, formerly of the LSU Tigers, currently with the Chicago Sky. This is great for the league. You have to realize in that regard, what really draws in sports fans is storylines these days. And many sports, for lack of a better term, have their loyal fans, and they can attract people who don't usually watch the games. But more than anything else, because of this storyline, that goes back a couple of years in the national championship game, of course, between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, obviously it's now transitioned over into their pro careers. They both obviously, again, they leave the league, they leave the college at the same time, they leave the NCAA for the WNBA in the same year. And then, of course, they're both in the same draft, and they've already had a game against each other. It's going to be very interesting to see what can happen in the coming years with Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. Obviously the Aces are going to continue to be a dominant team as long as A'ja Wilson and Chelsea Gray and Kelsey Plum and company are all there. They've got a great staff, and they're probably the favorites this year still to win the championship, though it'll be more competitive, I believe, this year than maybe their last two WNBA playoff runs that took them to WNBA championships. The reality of what it comes down to is that having Angel Reese and having Caitlin Clark, and having fans more people come in, be fans of new players in the league as rookies. Only sets up the league for the coming years. I think this is just a great thing of the extra attention. Angel Reese was at the Met Gala. I mean, she crossed over into other areas of pop culture. Caitlin Clark, of course, has really built her own following of people who maybe probably didn't watch the WNBA in the past. So you'll be able to see Caitlin Clark here in the Indiana Fever in Las Vegas on July 2nd. And the Chicago Sky with Angel Reese come to town on July 16th for anyone here in Las Vegas who wants to go either see Caitlin Clark or Angel Reese play against our hometown Las Vegas Aces. So below, I'm going to include a link to the CY interview we did with A'ja Wilson back in 2018 as well. And the WNBA is a growing entity in this city, and I'm looking forward to seeing if the Aces can repeat as a 30-time WNBA champion. I expect they will make the playoffs, obviously, and they will make a run at trying to be a 3-time defending WNBA champion. I'm Chris Shannick for CYInterview here in Las Vegas. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel and help us out. It's greatly appreciated, and I will see you in the next video.